So, um, after being sort of chased out, basically chased out of the place of my birth, which is Quebec, Canada, I ran to the second place that I called home, which was Nova Scotia. Um, Far be it from me, but I was really expecting it to be different here in this house, and it's not. Basically, as soon as I got here, Christmas night, well, after 2 weeks of self isolating, after I got here, the RCMP were called by my mother, and I was put in the garage. In the garage midwinter on Christmas night, yes. They actually felt really bad for me. We tried to call hotels, but because it was Christmas night, there was no answer. So I slept Christmas night in the freezing cold garage. Um, that begins the cop calling, RCMP calling type deal. And then, even though there have been like 15 to 20 psychiatrists plus Pinel Institute of Psychiatry to make sure that I was fit for trial, which I was proven way innocent, way innocent afterwards. The judge did not even let the poor constable. I actually felt bad for the cop. She didn't even let him finish the sentence that she asked him for the answer. And she goes, "I'm going to stop you right here, constable. There was no arson. The girl did everything right. The garbage can is beside the toilet. You never saw fire. It was only smoke. It was accidental. And the burning object, so said, was in the toilet. And all the windows were open. So there was no arson." And then she looked at me with the most sympathetic way. And she was, a Quebecois, a really great judge. She said, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And I said, "You know what? Montreal's known for its terraces and everything. And I have this kind of condition that I have to stick to, which is not to drink. May I have that relieved or released? Because, I don't have a problem with that." And yada, yada, yada. Absolutely. I think it was 3, 4 months later. There I went down the street trying to keep my ex company. Again, trying to do everything I can to be the best girlfriend I could. And there they were, the cops. And they asked me if I had a drink. I don't lie. I said yes, with supper. And they said, "Well, you're in violation of your conditions. We have to arrest you again." And then I went back to Bordeaux again. Can you imagine? It's like 4 times and 4 times innocent. Anyways, I haven't gotten around to. They always told me when I called with a specific problem or whatever to call a really good lawyer because they owed me money because they did everything wrong, including not giving me my medication. So that's all I have to say. I'm just about rounding up enough time to go on from here, and that's life since I've been down here. Why I did come on is because I'm still traumatized that my mother called the cops, RCMP, and had me incarcerated again. Imagine. But Canadian law is if you're not a danger to yourself and others, which I never was, that's illegal. Then they released me a week and a half later saying there's nothing wrong with you. And she called right back. And there I went again. Not so funny. I spent $350 in cabs getting back from Yarmouth. I mean, it's been a nightmare. I had to self-isolate when I got down here. That was $3,000. And I've spent $30,000 since I've been down here. I don't have a home. I don't have a place to call my own. Last night I slept in the bathtub because I didn't want to hear any more yelling and screaming. And I'll fill you in all about the middle. And people love to threaten calling the cops. Yesterday I called CIBC and I asked the man on the other end of the line, who was the fraud executive, I said, "What would you do?" He said, "I'd go to the police." And I said, well, what about people who, I feel badly for people and this and that. He said, no one feels badly for you. You have to start thinking about you, Kimberly Ann Ryan Solomon, because clearly nobody else is, and not everybody else before you. You have to learn how to think about yourself. And it really rang true. I do have to learn. And that's why in Montreal, when I asked, why me? Why me? I didn't ask, I cried out. They said, because you're too nice. And it never made sense. How could I be too nice? And yet everybody's doing this horrific sign language and taking things from my house and coughing when doors close here, the whole bit, and denying it to boot, and sometimes sort of whispering, I have to do this, I'm sorry. Anyways, uh, hmm.